In the last video we printed out the data to have a look at it, and I said it looked slightly different from the one we seen when we were iterating through the reader object, and it seemed to print it out nice and uniform line by line, which looked a bit more like our CSV file, if you remember. So it looked a bit more like this. Now, whether you realize it or not, you mightn't have realized it, the data you're after printing out now looks actually like this, but you need to break it down a bit. So if you look at it here, look, there's a start, an opening list bracket there. That's this one up here. So I've just broken this down to make it look a bit nicer. And you have a closing list bracket, and that matches this one down here at the end. Then what you've got is in the first row, so to speak, it's like that. And if I change this to look and makes it look a bit like nicer for ye, there is the first row, comma, onto the second row, then onto the second row here. This fella, the second row, so I've blown up big, few mistakes. You can see down here, this is now the second row, and then that's the third row and the fourth row. So the big thing to understand in all of this is the following. In terms of indexes, this will be in your row, your first row, row 0, in that actual row, this is going to be index 0 and this is going to be index 1. In your next row, which is actually going to be row 1, because if you're going by indexing row 0, row 1, in row 1, that's again going to be your index 0 and your index 1. This is going to be a row 2 here, and that's going to be index 0, index 1. And so you can start to see this pattern here. If you want to target anything at index 0, you'll be just going through each row and targeting that. Similarly for row 1. And so we're getting back a little bit closer to a reader object. And so what we're going to do in the next video is show you how to create a couple of empty lists and start splitting up this data into distance and time.